This is Jennie Walker, and welcome to Closet Conversations. This is day 6 of the California shelter-at-home mandate, and I wanted to tell you about my day today, which was not as productive as I would have liked. I don't know. I got off to a weird start this morning. A friend of mine's dog was in the emergency room at like 4 a.m. and all that kind of stuff. So, didn't go as planned. Let's just say as that. I was not as productive as I could have been, but I still got things done. So let's go through them. This morning, was working to organize the social media announcements for the upcoming Closet Conversations podcast where I have a special guest, and we're also organizing a giveaway for a product that'll be great for the reselling community, actually for anybody, but for the reselling community. So it's working with the social media company to get that sorted out with the text and the logos and the branding, and organizing with the guest speaker how we will present all of that. So that was a part of my morning. I had one item that I needed to drop off to the post office. So today, instead of walking, I just decided to drive because it was kind of near lunchtime, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll go drive through Chick-fil-A and make me feel like I'm normal, because I haven't had any fast food in so long. And I apparently eat a lot of it because I haven't had it. I've been eating at home. So I brought my car just in case I decided to do that. So took care of the post office, and I drove by the Chick-fil-A, and I saw this line of cars. And then I realized, because my business partner had said, make sure you don't go out if you at all, and if you do, make sure you have gloves and a mask on. And I had no gloves in that moment, and I had no mask in that moment, even though I have gloves and a mask, but for some reason they weren't with me. And I thought, well, do I really want to get in line and be inches away from the person taking the order who's been inches away from all the people in the line? And I said, not really, not without a mask on and without gloves, and because then they're going to scan my Chick-fil-A app and all that kind of thing. And I was just like, no, that's a lot of interaction I'm not ready for. And so I have nothing against it, but if I'm going to do that, I'll go earlier before there's a long line, and I will make sure that my phone's been wiped off, that I'm wearing my gloves, that I have a mask on, and that I'm prepared for that interaction. And so I wasn't. So I got out of the line and I drove home. And it was just nice just for a minute to be in my car, because, it's been almost a week of not going anywhere. So I drove home and I cooked my lunch, which was basically leftovers of this home cooking I did a day or two ago. So took care of that. I did a bunch of photographs today of product for Poshmark and eBay. So I did a lot of that and took all the photos and got the lighting just right, took care of that. It's not processed, but the photo part is done, and the rest of it I still have behind me to take care of tonight. I went on eBay and did some fiddling around with my account to try to generate some activity to try to get the sales going again. It is a snooze fest. I mean, nothing, just nothing. So I have to keep tweaking it to get some action going. So I'll be working on that later tonight. But the one thing I did do today, which was really interesting, I decided I was going to do a live on YouTube. And I went through all this trouble to put on makeup, do my hair, put on something other than my sweats I've been rolling around in every day. So I got all prepared. I did it. And then I was on for less than 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. And then they shut me down. And, I'm like, what did I do or say? I mean, it was talking about copyright infringement and all this stuff. So apparently the robots don't do as good a job as humans on that, but they shut me down. So I'm like, okay, so that's not happening. So I was really disappointed in that because I really wanted to talk about what I'd been doing, but apparently I'm not going to be doing that right now. if I want to put up a video, I'll have to record it ahead of time and upload it. And that is just more work. So I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. But yeah, so they shut me down. So there was my Facebook Live. It's interesting because I didn't have anything talking about COVID-19 or coronavirus. I just said, reseller working from home for the California shelter at home. I didn't have any of those code words in there, and yet they shut me down. So I don't know why, but it doesn't matter because that's why I have my podcast platform. I have this to really talk about everything that I'm doing. So yeah, shut me down. So after that, I had actually before that happened, I had a long conversation with a girlfriend of mine in New York City, and we were FaceTiming together, and it was just lovely to see her and talk through everything that we're both dealing with and just have that connection, that personal connection, and it was really uplifting to speak with her. So it's funny how being on the FaceTime really, made me feel like she was there in a really nice way. So I usually don't like FaceTime. As a matter of fact, when she called me the first time, I didn't answer because I was in the middle of working on some computer stuff. And then I called her back, and then she wasn't there, and she called me back again on FaceTime. I'm like, okay. Apparently she's going to have to see me. This was before the makeup for the YouTube video. Like, okay, And, so it was fine because we're both like without makeup and in our sweats and being comfortable at home. So that was good. So it was really good to talk to her about things that we're both going through and about the $2 trillion stimulus package today, and was listening to all of that. I watched the update from Governor Cuomo of New York City about what was happening there. And I also spent some time trolling around the internet to see if I qualify for unemployment. And I did make a call to someone in the wrong area of the unemployment office, and they said, look, you just have to go down to the COVID-19 section on the homepage to see if anything applies to you. And you know what? I really don't fit into any box. I do not tick any box. And even though they say the gig economy and freelancers can qualify, I don't fit in that box. So I think what I'm going to do is, because I don't want to not apply for something I might qualify for, and I have no idea, as well as so many people, I'm going to actually make a phone call. So instead of trying to apply online, I'm just going to do what's called apply over the phone. Get someone on the phone and just say, here's what's the situation. I have no idea if this is anything for me, but just let me know. Because if you read the rules, it's really interesting. Like, you could have paid in and with money left over from a previous employer that could apply to you now, which is so interesting. So I'm just going to let them make a decision and let me know what I qualify for or not. And if not, that's fine. Again, leaving no stone unturned. And if you listen to what they're saying about the small business help, they're talking about loans to small businesses to pay employees that might be forgiven. But I don't have employees. So, yeah. I'm in a weird little space here. And you know what's interesting is that you can set up your business completely differently. And the reason we are not set up differently to where my business partner and I are paid as employees of our company is, quite frankly, we didn't have the money to do it. And when you start something like that, you have to be able to finish it. I mean, you have to pay into Social Security and unemployment and all those things. And you have to be able to maintain that on a regular basis and keep paying in. And, there's so many irregularities in our income and how we draw from our company, depending on sales and things like that. It's something that you don't really go into lightly. And so we really never set up anything like that. And this really tells you that here's a reason why to do it. I mean, the fact that you can't get any assistance when you might need something because you're not set up correctly, that is reason right there to figure out if you need to be an INC instead of an LLC, or an LP instead of a whatever you are. I mean, these reasons, these kinds of reasons right here is how to protect yourself. And there is insurance there's a type of unemployment insurance or disaster insurance or whatever they're calling it for businesses and small businesses. But again, you have to sign up for it, you have to pay for it, and you have to be a part of it. So, when you're super small business, these things seem kind of out of reach, and it's time for our business to look into it, certainly going through all of this. And my hope and my goal is we get through this and we are able to continue to work and to continue to grow our business, but I have no crystal ball. I don't know. And so there's a lot of unknowns, and I have to accept that. Now, when I was in the post office today, there was only one person in front of me. It was really sad to listen to this conversation because, you have to keep everything in perspective. So I was standing in line, and there was a woman talking to the man taking the packages who had his mask on and his gloves. And I heard her say, all these people are sending me bills, and, it's just stressing me out, and they don't understand, and blah, 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 blah. And it reminded me of the fact that I had called everyone, and that's something people really need to do, because these companies don't know that sending a regular bill like they do every month is going to be upsetting to someone. They're not going to inherently know who's been affected, although they can imagine. As a matter of fact, I got a notice from PayPal, and I have PayPal credit that helps me buy some of my inventory. And they sent a notice today, and they said, you are in an area that has been sheltered, and retail businesses have been closed. And so we are not going to charge you your monthly fee for this month. We're going to postpone it for 30 days. Now, that was fascinating because that was something they did proactively without me having to call. And I thought that was really wonderful because that allows me to get in different situations with different people that I pay money to each month, so I don't pay them, and I can, maybe take care of something else, as things are in flux. So I really love that they did that. In terms of just some personal stuff I did, since I was talking to my friend in New York, and she was someone who was a singer and a songwriter while I was there, so a lot of us kind of went through that independent singer-songwriter community together. And we were talking about music and, why I hadn't been doing anything with my music, and kind of where she was with her. And, I'm in a completely different phase of life. I'm not in my 20s anymore. And, quite honestly, the record company thinks everyone is, stupider than they are in terms of they're not interested in people who aren't 20 years old. It's absolutely false. People are more sophisticated and have an appreciation of real music more than anyone gets credit for. And that's, was proven with the Susan Boyle situation when that came out. That, was a great example of someone who didn't fit the mold, who just had a great voice, and people appreciated it. But we talked about our music, kind of where we were with it, and I had all kinds of excuses, reasons why I wasn't doing mine and pursuing it, living in California, which is so interesting. And quite honestly, I've been 100% consumed with building my business, my consignment shop. It takes everything that I have and then some, and doesn't leave much room for music. And the fact that living in Pasadena with a producer sitting in LA, it's very different than when I lived in New York and could hop a subway and go to Brooklyn or go wherever I needed to go, and to a rehearsal studio or whatever. It was easy to get around. And here it's just problematic because I don't drive. I don't drive outside the city, and there's lots of reasons for that, including my car is not roadworthy. But there are other reasons too. But I have every excuse in the book why I haven't been working on my music. But nonetheless, all that to say that today I said, okay, fine, I'm gonna do something related to my music. So I posted on my Facebook page my song called Rise Above the Pain. It was something that I wrote when my mother passed, and it's very kind of appropriate to people who are going through this COVID-19 coronavirus situation and losing loved ones and under so much uncertainty. So that is something that I put on my Facebook post today, and I've had a lot of comments. I tweeted it, and people liked it or whatever. So we'll see. So maybe I'm going to have to turn to my music for income, because the reselling's very, very uncertain at this point. So if you're looking to buy some music, I guess I've actually, listen to this, I've had more streams on my podcast than sales of my music. Okay, so that tells you something. So the album's called Night Flight to London, and it was written and recorded back in like early 2000s with Tommy Farragher, who's been nominated for Grammys like 13 times. He's won different awards. He worked on the TV show Glee and had a #1 song with them, and just very accomplished gentleman. But this is a song that's kind of old. My album is not new. It's the fresh date is it's not new, and it sounds slightly dated. I mean, if you listen to it, you're gonna go, okay, that's nice, but you're not gonna you're not gonna go, oh, that's new music. It doesn't sound new, but I think it's still a solid album, and there's 12 songs on it. You can buy it, iTunes, Amazon, all those places. But if you just want to listen to it, just stream the songs. It's on all the streaming services. You can listen to the videos, the music that have some photo images of me on YouTube. But it's called Rise Above the Pain, and the album's Night Flight to London. So anyway, my business partner saw that I posted on Facebook, and I'd gotten so many comments, so he just called me and said, look, you should do that every day. You should post one song from your album every day and just get it out there. So I'm like, okay, I will. So that was a little bit about my day. And it's a lot easier to earn money reselling than with my music, I'll be honest. And that is why you just don't turn to your music and earn money on it. That's a whole thing. So anyway, that's my day. Tomorrow I record my podcast with my special guest in the morning, and I will get that edited and hopefully out tomorrow night. If not, it'll be the next day, because it needs to be just right, and we'll get that social media contest going. If you haven't already followed me on Instagram, that's where all the action takes place. It's Jennie Girl's Closet on Instagram. My personal Instagram is Ms. Jennie Walker, if you wanted to check that out, but I really don't do too much with that. But Jennie Girl's Closet, that's where we'll be promoting this contest and another one that's coming up as well. And that's it. So short and sweet. I hope everyone is staying positive. I hope everyone is, touching base with people that they care about, with their friends, with their family. And if you're a little unproductive during the day and you're sheltering at home, do not be too hard on yourself. This is not my most productive day by far. But it's okay. We're all in a new normal and just trying to figure things out. And, there's no right or wrong way to do this. You just have to do it, get through it, and eventually this will be behind us, and we will have, as my song says, risen above the pain. So what I'll do is I'll end this podcast with my song Rise Above the Pain, and I'll add it in so you can listen to it and hopefully enjoy that. So this is Jennie Walker with Closet Conversations. I look forward to having you with me on a future episode. If you like the song you heard at the beginning, it's called Black Hat, written and recorded by Jennie Walker and Tommy Farragher from the album Night Flight to London, that's available on iTunes worldwide now.
Breaking, but I can't catch my breath. The phone is ringing, yet I can't feel my tongue. My head is spinning, I'm afraid of what comes next. Nothing can help me to move, I'm frozen in this bed. My heart is aching, but I can't feel my chest. The day is moving, yet I'm locked inside my dread. Holes all around me, I'm aware of what is left. I keep reflecting on the last thing that you said. Gotta break the chain. has left me, but your memory still remains. The meaning hit me just before you went away. I'm moving forward, though it seems I'm still in place. What are the lessons?